everyone. My name is Gozi Jogun. I'm the MD CEO of Task Systems Limited. Today, I'll be talking to you about etiquette, specifically corporate etiquette. So the question most of you may be asking is, what is etiquette? In simple terms, etiquette is defined as a set of rules or behavior that is accepted as gracious or polite in a family setting, corporate setting, or a social setting. So like I said earlier, today I'll be talking about corporate etiquette. And as the name implies, corporate etiquette is basically the rules that apply in a corporate or official setting. So I'll start off my conversation around corporate etiquette by talking us through introductions. But before that, it's important that we know the difference between social etiquette and corporate etiquette. Most times in corporate etiquette, it's usually defined, gender plays no role, and it's usually defined by your hierarchy or role within the organization. So regardless of how old you are, if you are somebody's boss and you're younger, then you have to follow corporate etiquette the right way. However, in social etiquette, gender does play a role in certain countries we live in, and of course, age also plays a role. So that's it about my definition of corporate etiquette. I'll talk us through introductions and how we go about it in a corporate setting. Okay, so you may be wondering, why corporate etiquette? First of all, corporate etiquette differentiates you in a competitive job market. You come in for an interview and you walk in with your head down. That automatically shows you're shy. Another reason for corporate etiquette is that it exhibits professionalism and it makes you confident in any setting. So if you know the right things to do, how to behave in a corporate setting, then walking into that setting, you're automatically confident. So this is why corporate etiquette is important. Some people take it for granted. But like they say, do not judge a book by its cover. Most times, the book is judged by its cover from the moment you walk into a meeting. So I'm going to be doing a couple of demonstrations, starting with introductions. You walk into an office event and you meet a customer or someone else. I'll invite one of my colleagues to come in so that we can do this demonstration. Please come in now. Okay, so for introductions, when someone introduces you to someone, it's important you give eye contact to the person and a small smile. Hello, Anne. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And when you're given a handshake, it's important you do web to web, finger to finger, as you can see, and make it a firm handshake. Most people just, do this, which is extremely rude. It shows that the person is either smelling, or some people do this. That's not acceptable, okay? You don't know if the other person is going through something and you're doing this. It should be a firm handshake, web to web, finger to finger, and that's it. As you do the handshake, you look the person in the eye and give them a warm smile. In introductions, most times, thank you, Anne. You can stay behind. In introductions, most times, the junior colleague is introduced to the senior colleague. So let's say I have Mr. Balogun standing in front of me. I tell him, oh, Mr. Balogun, this is Anne. Anne, please meet Mr. Balogun. And that's how introductions are done in a corporate setting. So I know I've spoken about handshakes. However, there are certain religions or culture where it's not accepted. I had a personal experience with a Muslim man, one of the ministers in Nigeria. This was when I just moved back to the country. And he was introduced to me. Of course, I brought out my hands to shake him. And everybody around me was looking at me like I had run mad. It was at that point I realized that you do not shake, or a woman does not shake a Muslim man. So it's important before you get into these settings, you try and understand the culture so that you don't do something that is seen to be rude or unacceptable in their culture. I'll also want to talk about hugging. Some of us are huggers. I am personally a hugger. And most times when I walk into my customer's office, rather than a handshake, and these are customers that I'm used to, customers that I have a good relationship with. When I walk into their office, I'll usually do the European style, which is, oh, pleasure meeting you. That is, and I know in Nigeria that is widely accepted. So you can also do that. Some people, obviously, if you have a fantastic relationship with the person, you can also give them a close hug. But most times with people you're just meeting for the first time, or you're in a very corporate setting, the best way to introduce yourself is by handshakes. So I had touched on eye contact previously. Whilst eye contact is extremely important in a corporate setting or when you're doing introductions, it's important that we take note of not overdoing the eye contact. What that means is not staring at the person. I've been in situations where I've been introduced to a guy and his eyes are here. He's looking at me, his eye level is here. That will just make the other person uncomfortable. So whilst it's important to give eye contact, you can look at the person, look away, look at the person. You don't have to just keep staring at the person, or worse, looking where your eyes are not meant to, when your eyes are not meant to be. So that's on eye contact. And then of course, when you meet someone, the way you carry yourself is also important. You can see the way I'm standing and I'm using my arms to make this motion. I'm not acting like I'm rapping, which is not right. You just graciously move your arms to make your point. And you try and stand in a position where you're not seen to be, moving or unstable. Another thing that's important is not putting your hands in your pockets. I know some guys are used to this. Someone is introducing you to someone and your hands are in your pocket. It just makes you look rude, and it's not acceptable. So I know people do this without knowing. I'm here to tell you today that the other person may perceive you to be rude. Another thing is crossing your arms. A lot of us do it, but sometimes it gives this, arrogant vibe, as you can see. So when someone is talking to you, just leave your arms the way my arms are at the moment and make your points by graciously moving your arms.